Welcome, and thank you for joining me today. I'm inspired to be here to celebrate somatic movement education. I believe that somatic movement education helps us integrate body and mind, know ourselves more deeply, and also cultivate practical, essential skills for living in our modern day world. So I'm Susan Bauer. I'm a dancer and somatic movement educator and therapist. I'm the founder of Embodiment in Education and the author of the Embodied Teen. So I work with adults as a somatic movement therapist, but I also work with teens. A primary interest of mine has been in bringing these somatic practices to the younger generation. In fact, when I first started working with teens, I really got this revelation that it seemed to me that the whole field of somatic movement education had evolved for generations of adults who never had this core essential training and experience within in order to draw upon in their adult life. So this is my book, The Embodied Teen, and it's got 50 activities in somatic movement education, specifically adapted to teens. So what I'd like to offer you today is just an experience of one of these very basic introductory practices. You know, we really teach more than from our words. We're teaching from our embodied experience. So I'd like you to have an experience of the practice. At the same time, another contribution of mine, I feel, has been to really look at the basics of what are we teaching. So the curriculum I developed is based in embodied anatomy. But the basic essentials, I feel, are three things. Before we can get into the depth of the embodied anatomy, we have to establish these three things. The first one is we're teaching people how to focus. And where are we teaching them to focus? We're teaching them to focus on their bodies. And why are we doing that? This is the key. The purpose is to be able to listen and receive information from our bodies. So that might be interoceptive information, proprioceptive information, how we're feeling, but it's to really get to know ourselves more deeply. And the third piece of that is that then it cultivates a consciousness towards self-care. As I know my body and I can perceive what's happening within, in this moment, I can make better choices and care for myself. So today I'd like to offer you a practice. You'll need a place to lie down, a place to do a little bit of movement. We're going to begin in standing, but I did want to mention that I actually wouldn't begin that way with my group of teens, for instance. We would actually begin in movement. We might walk through the space, we might run through the space, we might high five each other, just get a little blood flow, a little community, a little playfulness. And this is because it's often very hard to just stop. We're going so fast. So a lot of these somatic practices are inviting parasympathetic nervous system, calm, focus. I find that before sometimes the teens are ready for that, it's really healthy and helpful to have some sympathetic active movement. So the sympathetic nervous system getting us moving, and then we're ready to settle in to this parasympathetic state. So I hope you can join me and we'll begin in a moment. So we'll begin standing, and you can gently close your eyes. And take a breath in and out. And beginning to just bring your awareness to your weight on your feet. Can you then feel up through your legs, up through to your hips, up through your spine, neck, and head? Just bringing your awareness, and out through your shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. And just feeling your whole body standing on the earth, being supported by the earth. And we're just going to begin to drop our weight forward on our toes a little bit. And you feel the weight shift onto your toes. And then shifting a little bit to your right foot. Shifting a little bit back onto your heels. Wah. And a little bit onto your left foot. And back onto your toes. And we're going to continue that, just shifting your weight around in a little circle. You might imagine you're standing in sand and your feet are resting deeper and deeper into the sand as you circle your weight. Are you holding your breath while you're focusing, or can you still breathe? And then letting your circle get a little smaller and smaller and smaller until you find yourself back in your center. What does center feel like? And then you can gently open your eyes. And we're going to just take a little jiggle wiggle through your wrists. And can you let that travel up into your elbows, into your shoulders, into your neck and head, maybe down through your spine and hips and out through your legs. And just finding how that would feel good in your own body. Might be very gentle or very wild. And then letting that begin to settle out. And just notice how you feel now, the same or different than before. And then we're going to just gently begin to bend and soften in the ankles and knees. So you're bending your legs a little bit. And then just dropping your chin down onto your chest and letting the weight of your head take you over just a little bit so your hands are by your knees. Then we're going to be rolling up by imagining we're starting underneath the earth, bringing that energy of the earth up through your feet. As you straighten your legs, you can trace them with your hands and tracing through the center of your spine as you roll up through your neck and head and tapping this little spot at the top of your head. And then keep reaching all the way up to the ceilings. You can feel from your toes to your fingers. And then we're going to let our arms float down and let your head float up from that little spot that you were touching. Whew. And relax your arms down. Great. And now we're going to do that same thing. You're going to need some room to lie down behind you. So I'm going to come to the edge of my mat here. And again, just softening in my ankles and knees, dropping your chin down onto your chest, letting your head, weight of your head, jerk you forward, and coming all the way down. You can use your hands to help you to come into a little squat position. And then we're going to use our hands to help us to come to sitting and to help us roll down onto your spine. Blah, 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 blah. Until you're resting down onto the earth, letting your whole body be supported by the earth. And taking another deep breath in and out. And bringing your awareness again to the soles of your feet. Letting the weight be supported by the earth. The weight of your lower legs dropping down into your feet. The weight of your upper legs dropping down into your hips. Feeling all the way through your spine, torso, neck, and head. And out through your shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Letting your whole body be supported by the earth. And then bringing one hand to your belly, one hand to your sternum. Can you feel the back surface of your body along that floor? And the front surface of your body where your hands are touching. And then taking a deep breath in and out. Can you make some space between the front and back surface? So there's some space for all of the contents inside your body. You might feel the weight of your bones and these soft organs inside your body. Taking another breath in and out. And then just bringing your hands together and rubbing them together to warm them up. And placing them on your eyes so your hands are cupped. And you let your eyes rest in their sockets. Can you let your brain rest in your skull? And when your hands are tired or your arms would feel like relaxing, you can bring them back down to your sides. And again, just feeling the weight of your whole body being supported by the earth. Taking another breath in and out. And as you're ready, you can bring one arm or the other up over your head, still on the earth, resting on the ground. And then just letting your legs drop over to that same side, blah, 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 blah. Letting your whole body turn onto that side and resting on your side for a moment. And then using your hands to help you. Still with your eyes closed, we're going to come to sitting. And as you're ready, finding your own way back up to standing, still with your eyes closed. Returning to where we were. And just seeing how that feels now to stand, the same or different than before. And again, you might like to come back to taking your little circles of your weight on your feet. Just see how that feels. And then coming back to center, you might like to also just rest, relax forward, and reach up again from the soles of your feet, seeing how that feels. And as you're ready, you can open your eyes. Can you let your vision meet your eyes the way the earth is meeting your feet? And just looking around your space, and you feel your inner presence, and you can still relate with the outer world. Okay, thank you. So thank you for joining me. I hope you found some value in that for yourself. I did just want to name that after we would do that activity, for instance, if I'm teaching in a group, we would then have some time to process our experience. So we would talk with a partner, we would write in our journals, and then we would come back together as a full group to speak. So I just wanted to mention that as well. So yes, if you're interested in further learning about doing somatic work with youth, you have the resource of my book, or possibly you could join me for one of my teacher trainings. So thank you for joining me today. And yes, may we all work together toward a more embodied and compassionate world. Thank you.